Now, truly, honestly, whenever you are ready.
I am ready. I am about to start.
And action.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the TNEC cast, episode 42, the Jackie Robinson episode. I'm your man, Deshuff, with your man, the Weapon K. We are the TNEC cast. Again, thank you for joining us on this ride. We're coming up on a year soon. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Again, thank you for everybody that's been rocking with us in the comments and everything. We're getting better at responding to the comments. Well, I'm getting better. Excuse me. But
Shut up. I don't even reply to text messages fast.
like we always say, please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Remember, it is free 99. Speaking of, we talk about free because free makes everybody feel good. Kay, how you feeling?
I'm feeling free, man. I'm feeling great. Just woke up from a nap, sipping on an energy drink. I am cracked out and ready to go.
Where you gonna be?
This episode is brought to you by Isaac's Brain. He texted me today and it was with the topic idea of being real. More so being real to yourself and not real to your persona that you put out there, and being authentic to who you are truly, which is very hard nowadays with social media, where it's kind of like you have two different lives, a highlight reel that you constantly have to perform for, and like your day-to-day very just normal life of boringness. You see what I'm saying? So Isaac, tee it off, my brother.
Right. So, we talk about problems every daggone episode. Kay and I, we talk a little bit before we go, and then a lot of times it'll be a random text from either one of us during the week. Show topic, boom.
Yep, literally.
And then we'll talk a little bit more about it. So basically, what I texted to Kay, it was basically about being real and being true to yourself. And then as we were talking, we took it one step further, and it was about being true to yourself versus true to the perception that people have of you. So where it stemmed from, something we see on social media all the time. We see these people that, it's a lot of watch me work, do this, but it's the 47th, the 48th, the 49th, the 50th time we've heard you say that in the last 6 months. So it's one of those things where people like to enable. They don't want to tell that person, hey, you need to chill out. You're biting off more than you can chew, or something, and giving that person that constructive criticism to kind of help them say, hey, I do need to realign, or, whatever the case may be. You have, so in that being true to yourself, what happens is you need to be able to look at yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses, and understand each one of them, and then be true to those. Don't worry about what other people, think of you. Like for example, you're getting ready to embark on any kind of journey. Doesn't matter whether it's fitness, you're switching careers, you're going back to school. We feel this need to announce it because we want the world to support. We want to hear what the world has to say, versus, just coming through and just doing it and then telling the world, hey, this is what I did. And so when we bring that back, it's about being true to yourself, being real to yourself. Do what you love, do what you feel, do it with passion. You know what I mean? You want to get in better shape? Go do it. But be true to yourself. Understand your limitations. Understand, I was saying to Kay, I know right now I can have pumpkin pie around because I'm in surplus. So it's not going to derail me. As long as I'm not doing too much of it, it's not going to derail me. But now once prep starts and there's zero room for error, I can't have pumpkin pie around at all, because, and I'm extremely disciplined. But when you walk by, you only got so many times you can say no before you take a slice. Exactly what I said, before you take a slice, and then all of a sudden you're down that spiral.
Empty plate.
Because that happened to me my first prep with peanut butter. I ended up taking down a whole
just kept going, man.
At that moment, and boy, that thing was empty. Empty. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we're put in this position that we're getting too far away from who we are to impress people that really don't give a shit. Darn it, that really don't care about you. You know what I mean? Because the people that truly care about you, like you, love you for who you actually are, not for who you pretend to be. You know what I mean? And I get it. we all in everyone's eyes, we're a different person. And that's not because we're acting different. The way Kay sees me is different than the way Darius sees me, different than the way Sarita sees, and you go on down the list. And that doesn't mean any of it's negative. You know what I mean? It's just because you have a different relationship with everybody. You have a different, for example, Kay's getting ready to become a father. So now that's a new avenue, new role, but that's a new avenue to our relationship, because now he can start not necessarily even ask me for advice, to start talking to me about these different things, where a year ago, trying to have those conversations, it's not that he wasn't being true to himself, but he don't really know. There's a lot of things until you actually experience it, you just don't know. So when he talks about being up at 3:00 in the morning, changing the diaper, that's not going to be anything new to me. I'm like, oh yeah, welcome to the club. And whereas you say that to somebody else, like, oh, I'm going to let my wife do it, or I'm going to let my girl do it. I'm not going, I'm like, okay, guy, you think that, stuff like that. So the thing is, be true, be real. And the other thing I want to say, be authentic. You know what I mean? Because I carry myself in a certain way that I know I could be a little rough around the edges, but the reason why I am where I am is because I'm genuine and I'm authentic. And all those things are about being true to me and true to myself. I'm not going to compromise certain things. I'm not one of those people that's going to go around smooching other people's booties. Had to say it like that. So I say the other way. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be me. And and it works, because if you really are, if that's really you, because there's a lot of people that run around that are pretend to be tough, and I'm not talking about tough, like this. I'm talking about just tough, like I'm hard nosed, when they really snuggly soft. And then there's the other people that they're trying to temper down their gruffness so they can get in. Just be true to who you are. Because if you're always true to yourself, you never have to pretend. You never have to keep up with a lie. You just boom, you can do it. And then to bring it back, and then I'm gonna switch it over to Kay. It's the same thing with fitness. I had one of my good friends reach out to me, because he's really struggling to get started. And I keep telling him, you got to simplify it. That's how you're going to be true. That's how you're true to yourself, is to simplify it. There are some people that can do things cold turkey, just jump right into the deep end, and they're good for them. And there's some people that need to take those baby steps. Mm-hmm. Those baby steps, just like a baby. Heck, my niece will be here soon. They start to take the little, and all of a sudden, bam, they're off and running. And that's the same thing. And you just got to understand, there are certain things I can jump in the deep end, and there's certain things that I need to take baby steps. You can't. Every situation, is different. Kay's, in the military, sometimes you need to bring a tank. Sometimes it's you and a couple of infantry guys. Every situation's a little bit different, but being true to yourself helps you be true to the situation. And that's how you're going to get to where you want to get to. But you got to be true. You got to be authentic, because you're going to get to a point, shout out to Jay-Z, that, as he says, only so long fake thugs can pretend. It's the same thing with anything. That's why I don't like that fake it till you make it. I say believe until you achieve, because you're believing, then you're acting as yourself versus you're faking it. And, I'm doing a lot of references on this one. So this movie is great movie. Lord of War. If you've not seen it, go see it. Not go see it, whatever, grab it, YouTube, who knows how to get everything now. But Lord of War, it is a great movie. But long story short, in that movie, he talks about how he basically acted as if until he was in his position. You see what I'm saying? Ended up working out for him, but that didn't work out for everybody, because he kept putting the work in. But he also remained true to himself while doing that. So I think if you really look at it, I think he believed until he achieved versus faked it till he made it, even though he basically said that. So great movie, go watch it. But that's, those are some of the things about being true to yourself, being authentic, being genuine, and just being real. Because at the end of the day, and I'm going to shut up and pass it to Kay. I did not mean to rhyme there. If somebody doesn't like you for who you are, okay, peace out. There's nothing wrong with that. There's too many people in the world for all of us to be friends. It just ain't going to happen. So you find your people that love you for who you are, and that's who you rock with. Speaking of people that love me for who I am, Let's pass it to Kay. What do you think? What do you think about being real, being true? Take it to where you want to take it.
So let's double back on the last statement you said, right? Because this is like, if you are under the age of 25, let's be real, like you want to be everyone's friend. You know what I mean? Everyone's been there. Hell, if you're 50 years old, you might want to be everyone's friend. But you kind of have to realize, like, you're not going to be everyone's favorite flavor. I'm sorry. You know, it's just the reality of things. This is something that I learned, you know, whenever I was stationed in Japan. You know, like, there has to be a way where you can, well, there is no way where you can be who you truly are around everyone. Because, like, for me, for example, like, I'm a little bit rough around the edges in my own way, right? I'm not like yours. I'm more tactful, but like I do, like, hey man, like, truly, like, I went to the gym with one of my homies. He's trying to, you know, ease into the gym as well, and I'm like, hey yo, like, since the last time we trained, have you been up in here? He was like, no. I was like, well, why not? Simple, plain. Like, I need an answer. Don't try to, like, wilk around this. And he was like, well, you know, work has been busy. And at the end of the day, I was like, you gave me all excuses. Excuses ain't going to get you back to healthy to where you want to be. Period. Right? But he understood who I was. And I didn't compromise who I was to get my point across. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So if you're a young man and you going through life, that's another important tip. Act as if. Man, I don't think you understand how many Kobe interviews, Kobe anything I digested whenever. Like, I still digest Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson. And through Mike Tyson, I started looking through historical figures. Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Alexander the Great. All this data that I was downloading, I'm like, okay, I'm looking at their blueprint, and I'm like, how can I formulate Kyrie Cooper to be the best Kyrie Cooper ever, right? And that was acting as if I was stepping in this room, or I need to lead troops right now, so I need to act as if I am Alexander the Great. I need to get all these guys in line with one of his philosophies and go. Simple, plain. So if you need to, hey, go talk to a mentor, or you wanna be the best bodybuilder of all time. Go look at Arnold. Go look at Ronnie Coleman. Go look at Dorian Yates, and then pull from them. Don't be them. Be you and be real to who you are. But pull stuff from them. All those guys worked incredibly hard in the gym. Okay, well, right? All those guys make huge sacrifices. Dorian Yates was a damn near a monk. Don't go to that extreme, but you see what I'm saying? There has to be some sort of sacrifice. The next question is, what are you willing to sacrifice? In your own situation, not theirs. Mm-hmm. So still be true to who you are, but start pulling from different people's game. Adapt. You don't know it all, bro. You know what I mean? And also, this is the biggest one that I tell a lot of people. Impressing people that don't even care about you, dog. So it was like having a conversation with one of my homies. I ain't gonna air out his business, but he was gonna make this big announcement on social media, and I was like, who cares? It's like let's take a step back for a second, right? Like, you got a brand new promotion, you're waiting to, you know, air it out on social media. I'm like, bro, those people are going to keep scrolling. Because that's what social media is. You look at a post, that's nice. Scroll.
Why do they want to stay?
That's it. But the people who truly cares about you, that's a phone call. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so great. Hey, if you ever need any help, I've been there. You know, I da-da-da-da-da-da. Rather than, like, you're trying to make yourself as big as you, like, bigger than what you actually are. Mm-hmm. And feeding into this persona rather than, you know, being human. Mm-hmm. So you have to be very mindful of that. What's the word? Self-grandizing? Making yourself bigger than what you actually are?
Grandiose.
So, be mindful of those things. That was pretty much all over the place.
No,
What's up?
because you touched on something about when you brought about sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
and this is about being true to yourself, right? So somebody reaches out to either one of us, man, I want to be a bodybuilder. I want to be the great. It doesn't insert what you want to be the greatest at. You have to be true to yourself to understand. Like when you know, like first and foremost, you need to know who the greatest is. Number one, it could be multiple people. Because basketball, depending on who you talk to, it's football, all these different, arenas of sport. It's very rare that there's a true like, hey, this is the guy or the
Yeah.
girl. Well, long story short, so there's that. You have to understand how much those people sacrificed to get to where they are. That's the same thing. Everybody think that, Bezos and Gates just, and all those guys, it was easy to get to where they were. They didn't have, they just, because they got all this money, they think that, how the kind of problems now, granted, a lot of us would say we want those problems, the set of problems that comes with that kind of money, the amount of people that depend on you, one bad decision, you have to close down the division and 10,000 people are out of work. You sacrifice a little bit of your mind to be able to get to that level. In bodybuilding, watch on Netflix, watch how much Ronnie Coleman sacrificed to be considered one of, if not the greatest, bodybuilder of all time. The man can barely walk right now. It's hard to watch. It's really, really hard to watch because by all accounts, I'm not going to act like I know him, but he seems like a great dude. Mm-hmm. So it's not one of those things where you're kind of like, and this is just being full transparent. Sometimes you're like, he's an asshole. I mean, I've already messed up. He's not a good guy. So you're kind of like not happy, but you're not, it don't tug on the heartstrings the same. So you have to be true to yourself and understand what you're willing to sacrifice. Because most people aren't even willing to sacrifice a Saturday night. Like, think about that for a second. You're not even, you're telling me that you want to be a pro. You're telling me that you want to win. You want to be the great, You won't even sacrifice a Saturday night. I have to go out with my friends. I have to do this. The people that truly want to be great, you know what they're doing? They're either doing their cardio, they're practicing their posing, they're working out, or they're rested. While you're out partying because you told me and you told everybody else, and you made these grandiose, there we go, using it again, these grandiose statements about how, watch me work. They're not ready for me. But then you can't, we always say you can't cheat the grind. You got to, so being real to yourself, it's just like being real to the grind. The grind knows.
Are you willing to sacrifice 16 weeks of prep for a lifetime of glory? Are you willing?
Yes.
Like, wait, I just dog. Like, it's just a small window to get to where you need to go. 16 weeks? 4 months.
They say it. And that's the thing when you say, are you willing? So now, see, then you get a little more granular. Okay, so what are you willing to sacrifice? You can't drink, right? Oh, well, you can't really go out to eat, right? Oh, well. All of a sudden, when those things start getting brought, and then the thing is, at the beginning, you tell us, oh, yeah, I can do that. But then all of a sudden, well, coach, nah. You can't, you can't. If you are just okay with being okay, there's nothing wrong with that. We always have to say that because sometimes people will hear us speak and we don't want for you what we want for ourselves. The two of us, we speak the same language because we're chasing greatness. We want our name in the history book, all these different things. So when we talk about the things that we need to sacrifice and all that crap, it's easy. We don't have to translate, but there are people that are just okay with again, we're staying in the vein of our sport. They're okay just getting on stage. That's their victory. There is zero wrong with that.
Because that's your greatness.
If that's your goal and that's what you decided you wanted to do, that is fine. If you're okay with getting ate up on stage, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that because that's your lane. You see what I'm saying? You just gotta be ready. You're gonna go up against people that are trying to make a living out of this or whatever. So while you were out every Saturday, or these people, there's some of these people that get 2 cheat meals a week on prep. Like I just see some craziness. I'm like, okay. But you see how, if you want to do that, you got to understand there's a chance of you embarrassing yourself on stage. There's a chance of you getting blown out where you look better than what you ever looked But again, that's being real to yourself. You got to understand that you're going to, like, for example, I'm not that good at basketball anymore. I'm old. I can't jump. I'm still fast, but there's certain things, right? If I go to, I know some people, LA Fitness, Fitness Connection, the different, local gyms. There's some people that's their NBA finals.
Yeah, they'll play
So
their heart out.
what I mean? So they go in there and they going. I'm not gonna go there and show because they'll eat me up. They can't wait to cross me up and put me on TikTok or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let that happen to myself. You know what I mean? So I say that to say that's about being true to yourself and being real to yourself. Now, if it's me and a bunch of my friends and we just going to play a game, I'll play because I know. I mean, if I get embarrassed, it's one of my friends and I knew that. So I'm not gonna go play, go play against people that's taking it dead ass serious. That's the same thing with this. Don't come play with our sport because you can get embarrassed. Because I always say this: you up there half naked.
Literally, dog.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't, what I mean? You exposing a lot, and you don't want to sit there like people, might be murmuring, but you don't want to be sitting there looking crazy, And so as we're going through this, that's the part like that people ignore is how much you really need to sacrifice to get to where you want to get to. And again, now let's take it out of the bodybuilding. You want your living situation, isn't what you want it to be. Are you willing to sacrifice going out to eat? Are you willing to sacrifice, okay, instead of, buying clothes every week? I can't, are you willing to make those sacrifices to get out of your situation? Are you willing to make the sacrifice to be patient? That's being real to yourself. Because if you say no, there's nothing wrong with that. But now you got to figure out how can I do it in less time, or who can I, you got to figure it out and understand. Again, what we talked about in the beginning, knowing your strengths and knowing your weaknesses. That's being true to yourself. Everybody wants to, it's like they just split it and it's either about the positive or the negative. If you really want to be, it's all intertwined. Mm-hmm. You got to know what you can put up with and what you can't put up with. Kay can say things to me that 99% of the world cannot say to me. You see what I'm saying? And so what I say, so you got to understand what you're willing to tolerate. People that are close to you can do things that people that you normally, like if somebody out on the street, you smack them in the mouth.
You're like, hey, yo.
Like, who are you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Like, so with all that, that's about being real, true, authentic, and genuine. Four synonyms. I mean, there's slight differences, but at the end of the day, they're four synonyms, very, very similar in their meaning and their practical application. You know what I mean? But you have to be true to yourself to understand what you're willing to sacrifice. Because you go to a guru. Oh, again, another reference. Doctor Strange, when he went to Carmitage, was he really, he was willing to sacrifice everything to get himself right. Got his butt whooped, got his stuff stolen. Like he gave up everything to go there and do that. Are you willing to go find your Carmitage for whatever it is that you want to do? That man became obsessed. That's the other thing. I saw this thing with David Goggins. Everybody says I need to get into him, but I saw an interview.
That's my guy.
And he was talking about how people that are great and like are at the top levels of what they do. He's like, they're crazy. Most people don't even like them because they're so obsessed. And he said it with a lot of profanities, which I loved. He's like, they're so obsessed. They're willing to sacrifice any and everything to get to where they want to be. Mm-hmm. Not everybody can relate to that. Because like I said, there's most people that aren't even willing to give up a Saturday night to get to what they say they wanted. That's what being real to yourself is. Because if you're not willing to give up that Saturday night, you know what you're saying? That Saturday night is more important than your end goal.
Which is fine. But that's a baby step to seeing like, hey, what do you truly prioritize? It's a baby step to seeing who you really are. Because if you can't sacrifice that Saturday night for your fitness goals, then you're just not a bodybuilder. And that's fine, bro. Like, you might be a dope magician. You know what I mean? So, and that's the thing, wherever I said in a previous episode, it's like, find your domain that you want to dominate. Find that domain where you want to actually make those sacrifices. Pursue that. If you like, you know what, Isaac, listen, bro. Those Saturday nights is non-negotiable. Also Sundays, sometimes every other Wednesday. I got to go to Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? Then it's just like, all right, cool. I'm not your guy. Good luck in your endeavor, but I definitely think you should probably go try ping pong. Mm-hmm. Go try something else. Mm-hmm. This is not for you. Bodybuilding is one of those weird sports where you do it all day. You know what? You do it all day. There's no escape from bodybuilding. Everything you do is geared towards bodybuilding. Every calorie you eat, every minute you sleep, like dog, every moment, every single second that you pose, every rep, every set, all towards potentially at most 5 minutes on stage. Years of hard work. Back, front, back. Thank you.
What's wilder? How you just pointed that out. So you think about the high level, and I'm going to leave men's physique and everything out. I'm thinking about the high level bodybuilder. So, your big Ramy, your Brandon Curry. 1, maybe 2 shows a year.
Yeah. I hate that. Just because just like, I want to go. I want to go always.
and it's crazy because you can only hold that peak but for so long.
Yeah.
Especially at that level, at that muscle density and that low body fat percent, all that. But you just talked about doing all that for just that one moment.
Yeah.
And like it's like just like the Olympic sports. Don't get me wrong, some of those sports they do have their foul, but they have the spotlight every 4 years.
That's it.
So that's what you really are working for. Because a lot of times people can't tell you who the world champion in the 100 is, but they can tell you who won it at the Olympics that year.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. It's just like Big Ramy, that's who he is. Mm-hmm. Brandon Curry, Chris Bumstead, me, you. We are those sick guys that would just be like, oh yeah, 16 weeks, 18 weeks, 20 weeks, 24 weeks, just for 3 minutes? That sounds like a fair trade to me. Let's go.
But do you know why?
Why is that?
That 3 minutes is so worth it. That's why I tell people, because I swear, I'm just going to be real, it's a high. That high you get from being on the stage, the lights, the culmination of all that hard work, the crowd, you up there with a lot of times your friend, like just the whole, and you can't replicate it. Other than that is it. It is you see how my demeanor changed. There's, I haven't played football in front of crazy big crowds. I've ran track in front of crazy big crowds. Mm-hmm. Doesn't compare.
Yeah.
Doesn't compare.
I don't think. I wrestled, I ran track, football, basketball, nothing. Nothing, just because, especially on that individual, when it's literally you half naked. There is no other sport where you are half naked, judging, and people are judging you on how you look. Mm-hmm. The closest, literally, it's a beauty pageant.
Yeah.
But in a very extreme case of a beauty pageant, right? But it's just all that hard work, and that's just saying 16 weeks of just beating yourself down constantly. But like you said, we're just obsessed with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
We are hey man, if you can go through a 16-week prep and not cheat on your diet, you're certified as obsessed. Even if it's just once. It's just hey, bro, you get my blessing and being that's a bad dude. Because it's hard. There's a reason why registration shoots up. And all of a sudden, 8 weeks out, people be life happens. You know what I mean? It's just no, weakness happens. And that's fine.
And that's why a lot of people wait to register. They want to make sure they wait because the next wave is usually about 4 to 6 weeks before a show because they've made it that far through prep and they think, okay, I can make it over the hump.
Yeah.
And there's a certain badge of honor that you get if you get up on stage. So there's 2 badges of honors. The one for making up on stage, there's definitely a badge of honor for that because whether you look right or not, it takes courage to get up there. It really does.
Facts, yeah.
You know, it really, really does. Now there's the other badge of honor where it's like you have made it to the true brother sisterhood of bodybuilding, where you really know what it's like. You know about the nights you've had tears in your eyes because you're so hungry, or you feel like you're about to pass, like all these different things that we go through. The prep fog at first, and it's all these different things, and we're talking this language, and it's like you may not know that person, but you just because you've been through it.
On show, on show day, you look next to you, but how you feeling, bro? Dehydrated. Same. Same.
Or I can't wait to get to this.
Yep.
Wherever there's, I can't wait to get there.
Yep.
Well, I want to eat.
See, that's the one thing. Also, we're just rambling now, but it's just whatever. Backstage at bodybuilding shows is like I'm the most comfortable. You know what I mean? Being around like literally like-minded people.
Yep.
Where you just back there, you can just shoot the crap with anyone and being like, yo, like, what's up? Where you going to eat after this, bro? Oh man, this is dope burger joint.
Yeah, because you hit it on the head. You're around this. It's basically you're at the insane asylum.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're the crazy people are just like you that are obsessed with trying to win because they're all there with the same goal. Mm-hmm. Then everybody looks at each other. You looking at how am I gonna beat that dude? And then people looking at you. How am I gonna beat that dude? And all that. And you just there's a weird comfort level. And it's the other thing I tell everybody on our team this. We talk about it. When you get back there, you're gonna see who dieted and who really didn't. You could tell. You could just. It don't take a lot. You can be like, okay, and you see the different demeanor and how people get along, everything like that. But that's very real. That's that comfort level when you're there, smelling the tan and everything like that. You're just like, that's why it's tough when you ever go backstage and you're not competing, because you're just instantly transported to like, wait a second, if I go hit the song.
Yeah, right? That was Alamo Showdown. Whenever I was in the crowd, it was like, nothing better than protein.
What's that smell? Us were like,
oh man. All right. Any closing words?
Just like always, thank you everybody, for tuning in. Just that's it. Thank you for tuning in. I think I love episodes like this where you can see how something just we go and then and hopefully you took something from it. But that's it for me.
I'm not sure if you said this already, but like, comment, subscribe. Did you say that already?
I did, but can't say it enough.
Like, comment, subscribe, comment, and say what you learned, or if you have a question. We have a few big things in the chamber just for you guys. So of course we're not going to say it. We're just going to deliver, right? There's no need. So yeah, thank you guys for supporting us for this past, almost a year.
Crazy.
So that really, honestly, truly put, a big smiley face on my heart. A big Coop over here, young Papa Coop. That even like I'd be having people, and I know you experience too, call us and be like, bro, I see, or text us like, yo, that podcast is amazing. I love your podcast. I love listening to you guys talk. I love your guests, man. What's Sarita up to? Get Sarita back on here. The vegan stuff, bro. Keep it up. Da 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 da. It really warms my heart. For real, for real. Well, thank you guys. I'm full of gratitude. We are full of gratitude with the support, and we're gonna find ways to take this to another level just for you guys.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.